Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining me. I've got good news for this evening. For once, it's been a while. So we're going to go right to it with all that's happening with the expanding, the growth, mass baptisms. We're going to go to the first area, which is in the Rocky Mountain area of Idaho. So the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary Greek Orthodox Church in Pocatello, Idaho, founded in 1915. Listed on the National Register of Historic Places, and still serving as Idaho's oldest Orthodox church, I did not know that, is witnessing an unprecedented influx of new members from diverse religious backgrounds, most notably young adults and families from Roman Catholic, Protestant, and non-denominational churches, as well as from the Church of Jesus Christ and Latter-day Saints. They have been making the journey to the ancient liturgy of Eastern Orthodoxy. This is a very interesting thing on these numbers. This demographic shift is striking in a region where Latter-day Saints comprise a significant portion of the population, 26.4% in Idaho, representing the largest religious denomination in the state. I had no idea there were that many Latter-day Saint Mormons in this area. And 11.5% in Wyoming. Wow. I always think of Utah, Yet, increasingly, young families and especially young men from these communities are finding themselves drawn to the ancient traditions and unchanging liturgical practices of the Orthodox Church. Father Constantine Zozas, who has been serving full-time these past 6 years at the Assumption Church, has baptized 59 adults and 31 child catechumens and chrismated 54 adults and 5 children. That's bringing 128 new Orthodox Christians into the faith. Wow, that's great. So, moreover, the numbers have been increasing exponentially every year. Currently, there are 40 catechumen and over 20 inquirers attending the catechism and Bible study classes in person and on Zoom. The church has had to move the classes from the church conference room into the social hall and buy a large screen TV to accommodate all those in attendance. That's great. There's the picture of the church. That's just wonderful. Just wonderful. So that's what's going on around the Rocky Mountains. Let's go on to what's going on, what happened at Theophany celebrations, mass baptisms in Tanzania. Look at that. Baby doesn't look too happy, but look at that. Okay, so during that feast of Theophany, mass baptisms was held at the missionary center of the Patriarchate of Alexandria's holy metropolis of Arusha in Iringa, Tanzania, by Metropolitan Agathonikos of Arusha. Throughout the baptismal ceremony, heavy rain fell, but despite the difficult weather conditions, all endured patiently, remaining focused on the sacrament. The report does not mention how many were baptized, though judging by photos, the number seems to have been in the dozens. Look at all those people. Are they all going to be there for the baptism, or are those just the people from the community, the church? In his address to the newly baptized, Metropolitan Agathonikos emphasized the importance of conscious ecclesial life and a steady path within Orthodox tradition, stressing that baptism isn't simply an event in one's life, but the beginning of continuous spiritual practice and witness. Mass baptisms have been taking place in Tanzania and across Africa for many years now, as increasing numbers of Africans turn to the Orthodox Church seeking the authenticity of Christian faith and spiritual fulfillment. The new faithful participate with joy, reverence, and evident thirst for Christ, giving a hopeful message for the future of Orthodoxy in the region. Now, this website has reported on the baptism of more than 370 people in eastern Tanzania in September. Tanzania, 370 in September alone. That is pretty amazing. So, So the contribution of donations and members of the Missionary House of St. Dionysius on Olympus proved decisive as they steadily and consistently support missionary work through their sponsorship program. Okay. Through their 11 sacrificial offerings, systematic catechesis of interested people, preparation for holy baptism, and substantial support of the newly baptized in their first and often difficult steps in Orthodoxy became possible. Glory to God. So, that's what happened in Tanzania. Now let's go to more global stuff here. Mass baptism celebrated around the world this month. So we're talking about that it started to, the surge started in conversions, particularly since the C19 Pandy, or as I call it for that. So it's remarkable growth across Africa for many years now. So for Africa, this has been going on for many years. But in recent years, the Western world also seen a significant, and that's during this time. Okay, as we know, because I've done reports on that. Let's see. Recent weeks have provided fresh evidence of this global expansion, with major baptisms taking place in the Ivory Coast, the U.S., and Sweden. So we hear Saturday, January 10th, 33 catechumen were baptized and chrismated in the Ivory Coast under the pastoral care of Metropolitan Daniel of Accra of the Patriarchate of Alexandria. The newly illumined faithful, who had undergone months of systematic catechesis and spiritual preparation, were received into the church at parishes in, I can't pronounce that, and Simfra. The sacraments were celebrated by several clergy serving the Patriarchate's missionary work in the region. Look at that beautiful church and all those people. How lovely. Now this is in North Carolina. Look at that. So this is the following. It's All Saints Anglican Orthodox Church in Raleigh, North Carolina, witnessed the baptism of 32 people, including men, women, and children. Let's see what the video shows. Lovely, lovely. Okay, so the Orthodox Christian, the channel or this website said they had previously reported in September that the parish enrolled 50 new catechumens, bringing its total number of those preparing for baptism to more than 160 at that time. 160. Wow. Then, as he said, also in January, a mass baptism took place in Sweden, where well over a dozen men and women and children were received into the Orthodox Church. Glory to God. Glory to God for all of these people coming to the church. I mean, it's amazing. I'm used to seeing like one family, two families maybe being baptized or brought into the church or whatever. That was like a big deal just a few years ago. Now you're seeing, lines of people in their white robes, and their baptismal robes. I mean, it's something else. It's really cool. I thought you all would get something out of that. Hopefully it's edifying to you, and like to show some joyful things that are going on. Thanks so much for watching, for following my channel.